The immortality of the soul. Who knoweth the spirit of the man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Wesleyan Methodist Book Room, 1865. Chapter 1. The Immateriality of the Mind. Mind is spirit and not matter. The Immortality of the Soul. Chapter 1. Section 1. An argument founded upon the power of volition, self-determination, and self-action. The soul or mind is not matter, but spirit, and of course forms no part of the body. This raises an important issue with one class who deny the immortality of the soul. There are some who deny the existence of a soul or spirit in man to be contradistinguished from the body, and insist that what we call the mind is a mere function of the brain, and that the brain itself is intelligent. So far as the researches of philosophy extend, there are but two primary substances in the universe, and these are matter and spirit. All we know of these substances is certain properties and phenomena which they exhibit. Matter is known to possess the properties of impenetrability, extension, figure, divisibility, indestructibility, inertia, attraction. Spirit is that which thinks, perceives, remembers, reasons, wills, and susceptible of love, hatred, joy, and grief. The former of these properties are found in our bodies, in common with all other matter. The latter constitute the phenomena of the mind. It is not reasonable to suppose that properties so opposite to each other inhere in the same substance, and the only rational conclusion is that matter is not mind, and that mind is not matter. There must, therefore, be in man an intelligent spirit, which forms no part of the body, and this is what we call the soul. We reason upon the modern and generally admitted principles of natural philosophy, and unless we are greatly mistaken, the whole system of philosophy will have to be exploded to invalidate our arguments. The admitted properties of matter and the admitted properties of mind cannot inhere in and be essential properties of the same substance. A few illustrations will make this plain. Inertia, which is an essential property of matter, cannot inhere in the same substance with will or volition, which is an essential property of mind. Inertia is that property in matter which renders it incapable of self-motion or self-action, matter acting only as it is acted upon. Will or volition is that property of mind which renders it capable of self-determination and self-action. Now, as matter can act only as it is acted upon, and as mind has the power of self-action, they cannot be the same substance. Matter cannot be mind, and the mind cannot be matter. Again, matter can be moved only by physical force. Matter acts upon matter by contact, and one material body has no power to act on another material body, only as their surfaces come in contact. But mind is acted upon by motives, and acts from motives, and mind acts on mind through the medium of motives without physical contact. This proves as clear as a sunbeam that matter and mind are not the same. To insist in opposition to the above view that mind is matter, that intelligence and volition are its inherent properties, and consequently that man has no soul, which forms no part of his body, must subvert the admitted principles of philosophy. Philosophy insists that inertia is an essential property of matter. Man's body is matter, as shown above, and yet it exhibits locomotive powers, and is seen acting without any visible agent acting upon it, and hence the doctrine of inertia of matter must be given up. Or we must admit that there is a rational soul inhabiting the body which controls it, moves it, and guides it. We see a steam engine in motion, and we know that the power of motion does not reside in any part of the machine, that it acts only as it is acted upon. We know that the steam propels it, but we know at the same time that the steam acts only as it is acted upon, that there is an intelligent, reasonable agent that directs the whole. So with the body, it is an animal machine. The bones are studs and braces to support the frame, and are levers for purpose and mechanical action. The muscles, by their contractions and distensions, operate on the bones and set the machinery in motion. But the muscles have no intelligence or volition, and when the machine is in order, they are under the control of and are guided by the mind. The foot or hand cannot will to move. The eye cannot will to open or shut. This our own consciousness proves. Let any man try to will with his foot or hand, and his own consciousness, which is the highest proof possible, will tell him that there is no power to will in his foot or hand. Man can will and may be conscious of willing to move his foot, but at the same time he is conscious that that foot does not will, and that he does not will with his foot, but that he, his mind, wills concerning it. The muscles are put in motion by a power superior to themselves, which must be intelligent. Now what is this power? Those who deny that a man has a soul, which is no part of the body, and which is an immaterial spirit, say that the brain is this self-determining, controlling, and guiding power. This we deny on the ground that it is matter and only matter, and possesses only the properties and powers of matter. If it be said that there is something in or associated with the brain which is not matter, which is superior to matter, the whole argument is given up, for that is just what we contend for, and that superior something which is not matter we call the soul. If it be said that the brain is only matter, then however refined it may be, it possesses only the properties of matter, one of which is inertia, directly the reverse of self-operation. The brain then cannot act only as it is acted upon, and we come back to the question, what is this superior power that sets the muscles in motion when we will to move the foot or the hand? If it now be said that it is the brain, we ask what power acts upon the brain, causing it to act on muscles. The brain, being matter, can act only as acted upon. We have then got to give up the first principles of natural philosophy, or seek for some higher cause of phenomenon of motion. We allow that the muscles operate on the bones, that the brain operates on the muscles, through the nerves, all the nerves and spinal marrow terminating in the brain, but we insist at the same time that there is an intelligent soul which acts on the brain, or it would never act. This doctrine being admitted, the phenomena of matter and mind are made to harmonize without involving any philosophical contradiction or absurdity. Deny it, and the principles of natural philosophy which past ages have developed and matured are thrown back into chaos, and we have got to begin de novo and grope our way in search of first principles. The above view accords with our own consciousness. Every man is conscious of thinking, but we are not conscious of thinking with any part of our body, not even the brain. That the head is the seat of the intelligence, no rational man can doubt. We are conscious that the thinking operation is carried on within the head, but no man is conscious that his brains think. The rational soul is mysteriously united to the body, and the brain is doubtless the point of union and constitutes the medium through which the soul holds communion with the physical world without. The fact that this union is mysterious constitutes no objection, for if we deny it, there will be as great a mystery involved in the idea that the whole mental phenomenon is a result of properties inherent in matter and found only in the brain, in contradistinction from all other matter. Okay, these are the definitions we're going to be looking at of the words to help prove this point even further. And we're going to start with the word inert. The English sense is drawn not from art, but from the primary sense, strength or vigorous action. Number 1, destitute of the power of moving itself, or of active resistance to motion impressed, as matter is inert. Matter is inert. 2, dull. Inert is sluggish, indisposed to move or act. Inertion, want of activity. Want of action or exertion. Inertitude, the state of being inert, or a tendency to remain quiescent till impelled by external force to move. Inertly, without activity, sluggishly. Inertness, the state or quality of being inert, or destitute of the power to move. That quality of passiveness by which bodies persist in a state of rest or of motion given to them by external force. In the language of philosophy, this quality is called vis inertis, or inertia. Next word we're going to look at is volition. The act of willing, the act of determining choice, or forming a purpose. There is a great difference between actual volition and the approbation of judgment. Volition is the actual exercise of the power which the mind has of considering or forbearing to consider an idea. The power of willing or determining, volitive. Having the power to will, they not only perfect the intellectual faculty, but the volitive. Brain, properly the forepart of the head or sinciput, also the brain. The soft whitish mass or viscous enclosed in the cranium or skull, in which the nerves and spinal marrow terminate, and which is supposed to be the seat of the soul, or intelligent principle in man. It is divided above into a right and left hemisphere, and below into 6 lobes. It is composed of a cortical substance which is external and medullary which is internal. From the brain proceed 9 pair of nerves which are distributed principally to the head and neck. Brain. Number 2 is the understanding. Number 3, the affections, fancy, imagination. Brain, to dash out the brains, to kill by beating out the brains, to conceive, to understand. Brainish, hot-headed, furious, cerebrosus. Brainless, without understanding, silly, thoughtless, witless. Here's the mind. Mind or will. Mind, consent, minder, to remind. Memory, to call to mind. Mind, will, heart, thought. Mind signifies properly intention, a reaching or inclining forward to an object from the primary sense of extending, stretching, or inclining, or advancing eagerly, pushing or setting forward, whence the Greek sense of the word, in analogy with the Teutonic moed, mind, courage, spirit, metal. Intention, purpose, design. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination. How much more when he bringeth it with a wicked mind? Inclination, will, desire, a sense much used, but expressing less than settled purpose, as in the common phrases, I wish to know your mind. Let me know your mind. He had a mind to go. He has a partner to his mind. Opinion. As to express one's mind, we are of one mind. Memory. Remembrance, as to put one in mind, to call to mind. The fact is out of my mind, time out of mind. From the operations of the intellect in man, this word came to signify. Number 5, the intellectual or intelligent power in man, the understanding, the power that conceives, judges, or reasons. I fear I am not in my perfect mind. So we speak of a sound mind. A disordered mind, a weak mind, a strong mind with reference to the active powers of understanding, and in a passive sense it denotes capacity, as when we say the mind cannot comprehend a subject. The heart or seat of affection, which were a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. The will and affection, as readiness of mind. The implanted principle of grace. Mind continue, to attend to fix thoughts on, to regard with attention. Cease to request me, let us mind our way. Mind not high things. To attend or to regard with submission, to obey. His father told him to desist, but he would not mind him. To put in mind, to remind. To intend, to mean. To be inclined or disposed to incline.